I used to think that never being married was the best resume for dating. Now I'm in my 40s, I don't think so anymore. Now I think divorced is the way to go. Because if you're dating at 40, everyone wants to know why. And if you're divorced, you've got someone you can blame.
Please help me welcome to the stage, very funny, Mr. Jim Flannigan, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here. I'm single. Do we have single people here tonight? 8 of us spread out throughout the audience. It's good. I like being single most of the time. The only time it bothers me is when I have a new hobby and I have to fill out an emergency contact form. The only thing more embarrassing than something bad happening to you is something bad happening and then someone going, "Quick, he's hurt. Call his mom." "Don't worry, dear, we'll call your mommy. We'll use the number you put on the form. She's gonna be here in a little bit." I've solved that problem. I put my friends' names on those forms now, and I'll call them and tell them. They love the responsibility. I'll be like, "Brian, I'm throwing axes on Sunday. You're on the clock from 3 till 7. Like, I'm not ruining anyone's day, but they're not gonna go see a movie. You know? They're gonna want to be available in case the phone rings. I used to think that never being married was the best resume for dating. Now I'm in my 40s, I don't think so anymore. Now I think divorced is the way to go. Because if you're dating at 40, everyone wants to know why. And if you're divorced, you've got someone you can blame. That sounds awesome. You can be like, "Vanessa's a narcissist," or "Mark's an asshole. That's why I'm single." I can't just blame everybody. Someone's like, "Why haven't you been married?" I can't just be like, "Women are picky." I'm doing my part, though. They'll figure it out. Dating's different as you get older. There's a lot more options now, right? Like, you don't just have to think about what you're into. You gotta think about what your partner's into. I went on a date with a woman recently who I found out was into polyamory. A specific type of polyamory called ethical non-monogamy. Or as I like to call it, being a little too honest. And here's the thing, it wasn't even the lifestyle that bothered me, right? It was how she told me that bothered me. We went on a date, we went back to her place, went back to her room, and all of a sudden she stops me and goes, "Hang on, before anything happens, I really need you to know something." And this is the sentence she gave me. She goes, "I'm not a one-man kind of woman." That's what she said to me. She goes, "I'm not a one-man kind of woman." And my first thought was, in general or right now? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm only one man. Like, are other men here? Is that why she brought this up? Are the closet doors about to come flying open? Do I need to check the hamper? What? No, seems calm. Am I supposed to bring the other men? Is that why she brought this up? I mean, I could throw a message into the group chat, but I don't even know who's awake, much less how I'd explain the situation to the homies. Thankfully, I froze and let her keep talking, which was the right move, right? And she explained further. She goes, "I date men and women, multiples at the same time. And I think it's important for you to know so you can think about it." And I thought about it a lot. I thought about it too much, according to my penis. It was the only thing I could think about. Who could think about sex at a time like that? I had way more important questions, you know? For example, how do you assemble a roster? What does that process look like? Is it like a sports movie where you're bringing together a ragtag group of individuals for a common goal? Or is it more like a heist where everyone has a special skill? And if it's that one, what role am I auditioning for? I think that's important information before we go any further. I'm probably not the explosives guy. I know that about me, you know? I'm in my 40s, I know who I am. She said she's bi, the safecracker's probably a lady. I'm running out of jobs. What am I, the getaway driver? Am I just like, "I'll wait in the car"? You know? It didn't work out between me and her and the gang. I was like, "You'll find somebody else. You know? Just check the hamper." I had a lot of new hobbies over the past couple of years. One of them, I started riding a bike. This is a very real thing that happened to me. Last year, I went out for my first bike ride on a brand new bike, and I got hit by a car. Okay? I'm fine now, unless any of you work for State Farm Insurance. And if you do, I'm under continuing doctor supervision. We're working through a few things on the legal end. And the person who hit me was so nice. She waited for help to arrive, but just kept saying the same thing over and over again. Kept just going, I just didn't see you there. I just didn't see you. And eventually I wanted to help, so I said, "Hey, listen, you don't need to say that part. I know you didn't see me there." That's implied. You know what I'm saying? You not seeing me there is the basis of our whole conversation. I can't even imagine a scenario where you saw me, hit me with a car, and then came over to talk about it. You don't even know what that would look like, you know? You're just kicking around the debris, and you're like, oh shit, you made it. Okay, all right. I should explain what happened back there. I saw you there, I did. And I just got mad. I was just like, we got to get rid of him. So I drove as fast as I could. And if I see you again, I'm going to keep trying. I really am. I'm going to finish the job. Anyway, I called your mom. She's on her way. She's going to be here in a little bit. Pretty ADHD. I think you guys knew that already. I don't hide it well. There's an Adderall shortage right now, which is impacting my life a lot more than I thought it would. And they keep interviewing people on the news about it, and they seem very angry, but those people also seem very focused, and that's the part that pisses me off. The guy on the news the other day was like, I've been calling every pharmacy in town the moment they open, every day for a month. And I was like, you can do that without the pills? That's incredible. That's the focus I'm after. You're just trying to cheat at work. That's not fair. This is my medicine, not your job steroids, Barry Bonds. I need this. I knew my ADHD was severe when I got diagnosed. I went to the doctor as an adult, and I was like, I'm having trouble focusing. And he's like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have you come back in a week and take a test. And then I missed 3 appointments in a row. And then on the 4th week, I showed up on the wrong day. And they were like, we're not going to need you to take that test. And I was like, what test are we talking about? And they were like, yeah, you have it for sure. I didn't even make it into his office. I got diagnosed in the hallway. That's how I knew it was severe. Fun thing I learned, you don't pay a copay when you get diagnosed in the hallway. There's no diplomas out there. They can't charge you. It's what we call pro bono work in the biz. I'm losing my hair in the back of my head where everyone but me can see it. And that sucks to find out last, you know? My bald spot's been in my blind spot the whole time. No one thought about telling me somewhere along the way. I went to a new barber recently. He did this thing after he cut my hair where he brought out a second mirror and showed me the back of my head. It's like, why would you do that? We were having a good time. We were getting along great. I was going to tip good. Now you're going to go and remind me of the situation back there? If I were a barber cutting someone's hair and part of it was missing, I would never show that to them after the haircut. You know what I'm saying? I would show it to them before the haircut to remind them that this was a pre-existing condition. It was my first time at this barbershop, and they go, hey, since your first time here, we'll give you the hot towel at no extra charge. Ladies, I don't even know if you know about this. At men's barbershops, we get 2 options. You can either get a regular haircut, or for a few bucks extra, once they're done cutting your hair, they'll throw a really hot towel on your face. It's what they do, right? They wet a towel as wet as they can get it. And then they heat it as hot as they possibly can. Where probably the same microwave they make lunch in. But don't worry about that. Don't ever think about that again. And they heat it to where it's so hot they can't even pick it up with their fingers. That's how hot the towel is. They have to use tongs to pick it up because it's so hot they can't even touch it. And then they shake it one time because that's all it takes. Just one little shake. Then they take the corner of that towel and gently press it to the corner of my face and say, hey, is that too hot? Is that too hot? And I was like, no, I don't think so. And then they smother me with it. And I was like, oh shit, I was wrong. That's way too hot. Please stop. But they can't hear me because while they're ironing my face, it's keeping all the yelling inside. So they're just pressing harder while I'm just yelling secrets into the abyss. They're like, we're opening your pores. I'm like, you're searing my flesh. There's gotta be a way to keep the pores open and the skin intact if you really wanted to. Trying to better myself, trying to be a better person. Anyone else trying to work on themselves over the last couple years? A few of us. The rest of you are already doing great. Sorry, bring it on. It's a lot of work, especially as you get older, you know? The other day I was at the gym eating kale, and I was like, I wonder how expensive cocaine really is. Like, as a lifestyle. I lost a bunch of weight. I started losing weight by walking, which is the least cool way to lose weight. I can admit that. Every time I tell a room full of people I lost weight by walking, I always feel like there's one guy looking at me like, well, how were you getting around before? Just like rolling places and shit? Admitting you lost weight by walking is also admitting that whatever I was doing before was so bad that just showing up and doing the bare minimum, the pounds fall off. You know? Eventually, I had to start running. It was all I had left. Well, I call it running. I should make that clear. Like, it's probably jogging. You know? If you're going by speed, it's jogging. But if you're going by effort, it's running. Like, if you saw it out the window, you'd be like, oh, someone's out for a jog. But if you heard it through that window, you're like, hey, I think there's an animal dying outside. Yeah, over where that guy's leisurely jogging toward. Yeah, he looks like he wants to help, but he's not trying to be first. I had a friend invite me to do a 5K the other day. That's not fun. That's not even the same event if you know what you're doing, and you don't. Right? He jogged for 18 minutes. I almost died for 40. It's a very different experience. I saw people running from their house to the 5K. I've never hated people more in my life. You're running to a run? Holy shit. Do you have no respect for what we're doing here today? Jockeys don't ride their horses to the Kentucky Derby. Act like you believe in this a little bit. Show some decorum. I got the worst compliment I've ever heard from a woman after a show there night, and I can't stop thinking about it. This woman said to me, she goes, I find something really attractive about you, and I have no idea what it is. I was like, wow. Yeah. I hope it wasn't my self-esteem. I screwed that up for a long time. You guys have had a lot of fun. I'm Jim Flannigan. Thank you very much.
Let him hear you. Jim Flannigan, ladies and gentlemen.